Hey everyone, I hope your day is going well. I was watching a few threads go by earlier today talking about retirement, and I think somebody was saying that they were retiring at 47, whatever. Um, so it stirred a bunch of controversy and conversations around that. People are like, yeah, me too. And people are like, I'm never going to retire. And it reminded me of what a lot of my friends are doing now. They got a little bit tired of working. Um, 10, 12-hour days, because a lot of us that worked in tech did, and it was crazy, especially if you worked at a startup. Or even people who are tired of working 40-hour weeks, because you do get to be in your 50s and some in their 60s. Like, do I really want to be working 40-hour weeks all the time? Not really, but I can't fully retire, and I didn't win the lottery, so what am I going to do? And what they're doing, and I did for a little while too, is doing what's called a fractional role. So it started with fractional CTOs, fractional CFOs, things like that. Now there's fractional CPOs. But basically playing a fractional role, not always as a C-level executive, but sometimes just as a senior contributor, a leader, a senior leader. So instead of working full-time in that role, you're working half-time or a third time. I used to try to structure it so I would work about 10 hours a week for any given client. That way I could take on a couple more clients and still have time left over to do stuff for my business, like the accounting and marketing, all that kind of stuff that you have to do, right? So I'd never give more than 10 hours a week to a client. So I would play that role. I'd be there. In this case, I was a fractional chief product officer, a CPO, and so I was their head of product. Would meet with the leadership team, do strategy planning, roadmap planning, sat in on the board meetings, did one-on-ones with the team, kind of mentoring and coaching the product team and so forth, and some of the designers too, because I have a design background. And it's kind of a sweet gig. It's good for them. I mean, they get somebody in the seat without having to give them full compensation, no stock options, no benefits, no retirement stuff, nothing, right? But they get you in that seat with the experience that you have. So it's a good way to kind of ease out of the full-time workforce and play a fractional role doing what you used to do, and offering those decades of experience and all that wisdom that you have to help them do what needs to be done in that role without having to have a full-time person. In some cases, you do it until they're going to be able to find a full-time person. I did that for another company where I was their acting head of design and help them find their full-time head of design, because I didn't want the full-time job. So that worked pretty well. I enjoyed it. It's also an interesting try before you buy strategy. So I've had some folks that would rather have a full-time role, and they were interviewing for something that might have been a stretch, or maybe the company wasn't quite sure, but it was taking them a long time to fill that position. And so one thing you can do is offer yourself as kind of an interim person in that seat until they decide if they want to bring you on full-time or hire someone else. But in the meantime, you're filling that seat right away. So it's kind of a low-risk strategy. There's no hire and fire stuff that they have to do if it doesn't work out. Again, they don't have to give you any options or benefits or anything. And so I've had people do that, where they offer, they're like, you know what, I can take this on and I can be in that seat starting Monday morning, fully functional, and see what you think. We can try each other out. If it's not working out, we just end the contract and I move on. But if you like what you see, if it's going well, let's talk about a conversion. Let's see if we can turn me into a full-time employee. So anyway, look into it, depending on what you do and what your background is and so forth and what you're interested in. A fractional role might be a nice way for you to dial back work, have more time for recreation and do whatever you want to do, but still have income coming in so that you don't have to worry about trying to make ends meet if you fully retire and have to live off that.